Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I am your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I am Aaron Kramer.
And we are coming back at you with a simple step. What is a simple step? Super short, super quick.
Behavior activation.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk through this because it's very applicable to today.
Oh yeah.
As I just need to hear this. So give me what it is, then we'll go from there.
It is an involvement of a behavior that you know engenders positive moods, but in the moment you don't feel like doing it anyway. But once you do it, then you start doing
triggers positivity.
Your brain catches up.
All right, so let me tailor that to what I think it is.
Yeah.
All right, so behavior activation to me is when you don't want to do something, but you know that at the end of the rainbow, after you get done with something, you always feel good.
Yeah.
So you start doing that, and then your brain kind of catches up with what you, and then by the end of it, you're like, oh, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
But at first, you're like, man, I don't really want to do that.
Yep.
Give me an example of this.
Oh my gosh. First example, I want to get into business too for you business owners, but the first one I start relying to is working out.
Oh, good.
Right? Like, how many times at the end of the day, you get, if you didn't get up and do it in the morning because you were too sleepy, right? You get to the end of the day and you're like, I got to work out. I'm so tired.
Yep.
And I'm sure if you're anything like me, there's days where you have fallen weak, you know, and then you're really depressed. You're like, oh, I feel bad about myself.
Yep.
But you get out there, for me, I get out in my garage and I knock one out. And I walk inside and I feel so good.
Yes.
Legitimately, my brain had a 30-minute delay.
Yeah. And I feel like after, you run, you feel so good. You actually ran. I feel like the turkey trot for some people has been like my new thing is like before Thanksgiving, you run like a race.
Yep.
And we do that. You're ready to just hammer food. And you feel like justified. Probably not the best and healthiest, but here we are.
Hey.
So I think that's a good one. I know a buddy named Tom Hay. Shout out to Tom Hay. We have a call every Wednesday. Just some guys just want to hold each other accountable, make sure that we're, keeping the main thing.
Yeah.
And every time he's like, it's so early. It's 6:30 in the morning, by the way, on Wednesday. He's like, every time I'm like, I don't want to do this. It's so early. Like you get in your head.
Yeah.
And then after every time he's like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. So that's a behavior activation.
Yes.
Something at the end of the rainbow, you're going to have positivity.
Yep.
Right?
I know one for work. I'll bring it up and be transparent here for work. I hate's a strong word. I dislike putting in notes after appointments.
Yeah.
Because we're running so fast and so hot all day. I just want to get to the next task.
That's
things
good.
like that.
That's good, Aaron.
But I can't tell you how many times I stay disciplined. I do it. And after I get it done, I get to the end of my day, I feel so good.
Yes.
Like, yes, there it is. And then you almost get like a double hit of your brain activation catching up, because then when you have to go see that client again and all the notes are in there, like, good job, Aaron.
Yes.
I did this.
It makes it better later. Right.
Yes.
And you can think about all these different things. Like just think about the worst thing about your job and then thinking about doing that worst thing and doing it well. There is some kind of like brain triggering of like, I did this, accomplishment, like pride. Yes. I don't know what it is. And then also when you get to reap the rewards, like you said, later, when you look back like, wow, that was worth it, which makes you then do it next time and maybe do it even a little bit better.
Yeah. And I think that
it's good.
If you do this, it ends up being a little easier, because I know when we're talking about behavior activation, we're trying to it's that, you don't want to do it.
Right.
And sometimes we fall short, but if you see the reward of it enough times, you trust the process, it makes it a little easier to go, if we're using the gym, to go change clothes, put on those tennis shoes, go for the run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or sit down for the extra 10 minutes that it takes at the computer to write the note.
Yeah. And I know a lot of our listeners know Ryan Garvey, but he's like, sometimes I even sleep with my workout clothes, because then it just makes it that much easier to get up, because I know next morning, he's like anticipating this kind of feeling. And so, man, that's a great topic. And it has a very good application to finances too.
Yes.
Sometimes when the market is like, it's like that's the last thing I want to do is add
Right.
money to it. But
Yeah.
sometimes the best thing you can do
Is
is
add
the
money.
things you don't want to do,
Yeah.
which is add money to it. Yep.
Yes.
You're buying the dip, you're putting money in it. It's great for new money. It's not great for old money.
Yeah.
You know, so just think about it in a different perspective, but also know that some of the hardest things that I've ever had to do were hard. And I
Yeah.
didn't know if I wanted to do them. And so one of my favorite Bible verses, sorry, this doesn't matter. And
No,
we gotta
it does
wrap
matter.
this
Let's
up.
hear it.
But James chapter 1, verse 2. Basically, trials produce endurance and steadfast. Be joyful in trials, because what happens at the end of the rainbow is very positive things. So
Yeah.
think about your life, like who you are today. What has been the most influential things that have shaped you into who you are today? It's trials. It's
Yeah.
hard times. It's not like, oh, my life was always easy. Like, could you imagine the person you'd be? Like, oh, everything just comes naturally to me. Like, versus a
I've met
person who
those
has to
people.
fight with endurance. And so it breeds character and steadfastness
Yes.
and all these really good things, but it happens through a trial. So are you joyful in that? Because this is a little bit of behavior activation. Is just, man, maybe the next thing that it doesn't go my way might be the best thing for me.
Yeah, it is behavior activation, because through those things, I think we do have to choose to go through that trial.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah.
chicken out and not go through the trial,
Right.
and stay easy.
It's good.
But like choosing to go forward is the behavior, and you're activating the trial ahead of you.
Oh, it's good. Aaron, great topic. We went
Yes.
over, but it was that important.
All right.
Thanks for listening. You've been listening to Uncommon Wealth Podcast. I've been your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Kramer.
Until next time, go be uncommon
Yes.
and go
Be a rock
behavior
star.
activation.
Yeah, activate that behavior.
I love it. Bye.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.